Harry. Everybody's wild about Harry. 19 matches, 3.1 goals per game. The Coleman medalist. Just, what do you say? Like, other than you're proud of him and his growth. He kicked 21 goals in 2020. And I remember at the start of the year, there were some people out there that said, nah, Harry's going to kick 50 plus this year. And I was not one of those people. I did not envisage, I envisaged growth for sure. Obviously, Charlie wasn't in the team at the start of the year. I envisaged a lot of the ball going through Harry. I did not picture him, almost tripling his output from 2020. He was good. He was a shining light, and it's a big sigh of relief. Not that there was ever any doubt, but to get this good, in the space of one season, I think is phenomenal for us. 58 goals. What do you say? Other than I'm just proud of him. Like that's pretty much it. I also don't want to get too over the top. I don't want to get complacent, because one thing I've learnt over my time in watching the game and having players that elevate is you never know when they've played their last best season of their career. And not to say that Harry will decline from here, but I just want to level out. I don't want to just assume, well, he's kicked 58, so he's going to kick 85 next year. It's everyone's got a role to play, and I think he definitely played his role. And being one of the 22 that gets selected every year and every week, I should say, and I'm proud of him. His goal kicking was an interesting one. I feel like a lot of the fans came to embrace the snap. I think at the start of the year, I was going to games and he was snapping around the body, and there just wasn't the same raw compared to the end of the year when people just got used to the fact that this is who he is, this is what he does, and this is how it's going to be. And I love that. I think there's a symbol in that for him as a person as well. He knows what works for him. And ultimately what we want, or what I want to see, is I want to see players own who they are, believe in what they believe in, and run with it. And I think he showed us that. A lot of outside criticism, all the traditionalists, and I mean in Australia especially, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Not a big fan of change here in this country, or something different. And I think it's not really a Harry McKay thing. It's a league-wide thing. The players seem to be more comfortable snapping the ball. They feel like they have more of or less margin for error. And that's how Harry described it. He just feels better that way. I think he knows when to kick it as a proper drop punt and when not to. Now, it's interesting because I feel like there could be a reality where the rule might change to allow for these snaps around the body. And when that comes, Harry's going to be at the forefront because he's already been doing it. I just have a feeling that's what might happen. There might be a little bit of leeway, very similar to in Gaelic football, where that's how they take their set shots. So I just want him to keep working at it. Having said all that, if there is a situation where he does have a drop punt and it's 20 to 30 metres out directly in front, I would hope that he's able to do that. And not, once we're playing finals football, we're going to play finals football at some point. I think that's reasonable to expect. I just want to make sure that in those moments we don't have a situation where it's like, oh my God, he can't kick a set shot in a big game. But I'm sure he can. The highlight for me, obviously, you've got the 7 goals in round 3 against Fremantle. He had 5 behinds that game. He could have really done some damage there. He kicked 6 goals against the Brisbane Lions in round 6, which was a poor loss. The Hawthorn game for me was a highlight. He didn't have a great game at all by any means. He had 6 possessions, kicked 2, but it was that big long goal from just outside 50 metres, and those are the moments that you start thinking, all right, he's really elevated, and his demeanour really evolved as the year went on. I really noticed from my perspective, looking outside looking in, he seemed to really get comfortable within himself, and I guess he always felt like he had the ability and that he did belong, because he gets nothing but love from the club and from the supporters, but just I saw this maturity in him, and I wonder if the leadership aspect of him started to come, to the fore. I think it did. And I think he will go to another level in 2022. I mentioned this in the Zach Williams video. The league and the professionals, they all have their set schedule of what to do, and really the ones that separate themselves from the rest are the ones that do the extras. And you look at what he did in the off-season to work on his speed off the mark. He identified that as a problem or something he wanted to improve on, and he engaged with the Speed Project in Melbourne. If you don't follow them on Instagram, please do. It's actually a really informative page. This is not a sponsored mention. I genuinely follow them and follow that journey. It's a great program from what it seems. And Harry worked on that, and that's what you want to see as a fan, like a player that recognizes, hey, I want to get better at this or whatnot, and goes and does the work. So I hope he does it again. I hope the accolades don't get to his head. He doesn't get complacent, because if he can go to another level, even just staying at 58 goals in a year would be great. But if he can just keep improving incrementally, I think we're in good stead. I think also there's an element of his body that will evolve as well, in that once he starts taking marks more regularly above his head, I think we're in for a treat. And also, I'm hoping that the Coleman medal has given him a little bit of respect within the AFL world and the umpiring, because I don't complain about umpires, but I don't think he's umpired correctly. He gets smashed. Is it because he's tall and taller than everyone else that he gets viewed differently? Because he honestly gets players smashing into him at times and doesn't even get a free kick, and it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm hoping that now that he's starting to get the runs on the board and getting that recognition league-wide, I think that will start opening up more goals for him and more opportunities. And also, I would expect our midfield to improve and the delivery inside 50 to improve. And, obviously we don't have a coach right now at the time of filming this, and I hope that when we do get the coach and the game plan and the philosophy, it is centered around kicking the ball to Harry on a lead, getting him some better opportunities, and being more composed with how we enter inside 50 rather than just bombing it and hope. Because I just feel like it's a recipe for injury and disaster. But anyway, we'll see how it plays out. Let me know what you think about Harry's year. I'm sure we're all pretty satisfied with it. Let me know what you want to see from him next year, and we'll go from there.